Look at the picture. See the skull. Visible Frankenstein controls. The Brain Thoughts broadcasting radio. The Frankenstein earphone radio. The latest new skull reforming to contain all Frankenstein controls.
Well, hello everyone, and thank you all for tuning in once more to Frankenstein Control.
Welcome!
We're the podcast equivalent of your bathroom spider. We make you uncomfortable, but you're used to our presence by now, and despite your strong urges, it somehow feels wrong to kill us.
Also, we eat a lot of other pest insects.
We do that,
yes.
Especially you.
Yeah, especially me. It's mostly me, let's be frank.
It really is.
Insect eater.
As we often do, of course, we're going to take a quick look at today's headlines before we hear a word from our sponsors.
Oh, Bowie.
After which I'll open it up to my distinguished colleagues for our regular discourse.
Distinguished.
Yeah, really. Well, to begin with, merry impeachment, boys and ghouls.
Yeehaw!
That's right. As of this recording, the impeachment trial for President Trump began in the Senate this very afternoon. Well, this is obviously a developing story, and we'll have more on it as we hear updates, but I'm going to go ahead and skip ahead right now. Spoiler alert, to the surprising conclusion, because I figured out how it's all going to go down.
How's it going to go down?
Well, the first revelation will be that the whistleblower this whole time was a State Department official named Pat Phoenix.
You don't say.
The second will be the shocking turn of events whereby Trump actually will be convicted by the Republican-controlled Senate. Immediately following this, however, Mitch McConnell is going to run up to him on the chamber floor wearing an Imperial Guard helmet and say, "Stop, I can't remember. I tried to do a Mitch McConnell impression earlier this afternoon. It just came out as Jimmy Stewart."
Just your Jimmy Stewart, then.
"Stop, you violated the law."
Merry Christmas, you old couch.
You old couch is President Trump.
Yes.
Because of his couch-like body. Yeah, so he's just going to do that, after which Mitch McConnell will confiscate all of the president's stolen goods, which, unfortunately for us, because Trump never pays for anything he commissions or owns, this will also include his suit and underwear, so now he'll be standing there naked like that time Oblivion decided that I'd stolen my own pants for some reason. Then McConnell is going to just fine Trump 40 gold and let him go. And since one septum is worth exactly $1, that isn't a terrible penalty. And because it's Donald Trump, he's just going to sneak into Moscow Mitch's office later and steal it all back from the evidence chest using the one lockpick he gets to keep and hides up his ass.
I always wondered where you keep the lockpick when you get arrested. Now I know.
It's the only logical place.
Your Argonian shoves it up his butt.
Good old prison pocket.
That's an awful thing to say.
Prison pockets.
No. You can keep your smokes in there, kids.
More smokes.
That's about as much as I want to think about that anymore. So it's time now to move on to that promised word from our sponsors.
Oh.
Now, I was going to write us a new Soren Cologuard commercial for tonight.
You mean you were going to receive a new Soren Cologuard commercial in the mail?
In my email inbox, along with a check for $73, which is what all of our sponsors send us unequivocally every time.
Always $73, not a penny
and
more.
And zero change. But I scrapped that idea last minute because this morning, I happened to see the greatest commercial currently airing.
Yeah.
Is that a fact?
That is a fact. And no, it's not another abomination from the general.
Thank God. I finally saw that commercial, by the way.
You did?
And
Thanks, Shaq.
I wanted to commit seppuku right fucking there.
It's awful.
It's real bad.
It's objectively terrible.
It hurt my being.
It hurts all. You don't want to exist on the same world as it.
Like, as I was watching it, the more I did, the more my hands were blurring out of existence like Marty McFly in Back to the Future. It was awful.
My cellular structure can't take this. It's rebelling against the very atoms that compose me.
My gluons are abandoning ship.
I reject quantum...
Quantum field theory, why not? What was the best commercial you've ever seen?
This commercial is actually, it was a actually good and funny ad I saw for Sheba cat food.
Sheba
I
cat
think
food.
that's the name of the brand, Sheba. I see it at the store sometimes. We've gotten it for the boy before. He likes it as much as he likes any garbage we give him. Chicken livers and gross parts, smelling all terrible.
Yeah.
As soon as you rip that foil off the little plastic packet, boy, he teleports into the room.
It's cat food, guest starring meat.
Yeah. Made with chicken?
The meat guest stars like a celebrity in a show like Seinfeld or Friends, where they just get a lookalike from the back and just film that celebrity interacting with the cast and crew like, hey, it's me, Tony Dancer. And it's just the back of their head the whole time.
Yeah.
And you're like, I see.
No, but this commercial,
Uh-huh.
it starts with this woman sitting on the couch. She's like reading the paper in her home, and her kitty cat is sitting on her shoulder and snuggling up, and it's really cute. And she's clearly enjoying the kitty time. And you hear from off in the house like, "Mom, I fell!" And like she makes no move to like get up and disturb the cat. She just keeps petting it. Mm-hmm. She's like, "There's bandages in there's band-aids in the medicine cabinet," and she's still petting the cat. And then they're, very happy to be petting the cat and, just having a good time. And then, like, a few more minutes go by, and then you just hear, "Mom, I'm bleeding!" And she's just like, "Used to then." Doesn't get up, doesn't disturb the cat. And then it's like, "You do anything for them." And it's like, "Give them Sheba cat food." And I was like, that is 100% accurate.
Wow.
As to how much I love my cat.
Damn, man.
A big mood.
That's
the kids say.
That's a commercial that got some testicles on it.
Yeah,
that's good.
That's great. That was
wow. I'm bleeding. Used to then.
Yeah. Not going to disturb that cat. Just like I think the Prophet Muhammad cut his sleeve off because he wasn't going to bother the cat that was sitting on it or something. Mm. Nobody draw a picture of that.
That's the thumbnail art now.
No. You're not
yes.
supposed to depict sleeve cats.
Yes, it's absolutely forbidden.
You'll get attacked by the Italian mafia of all people.
Yes,
actually,
Giorno himself.
Giorno Giovanna has a dream.
Oh, what are the super scary Italian mafia called? It's like starts with a C or something. I can't remember. I'll remember later and interject when we're talking about something completely different.
The crazy cannolis.
Sure, we'll go with that. Camorra, that's what they're called. I think.
Camorra?
Yeah.
Huh.
Isn't that a Guardians of the Galaxy character?
I was just about to say, didn't Thanos throw them down a big hole?
I
He was like,
said,
everything.
I almost said Kimona Tong, which is the dark elf mafia in Morrowind. But old Vendom Dress. Oh wait, no, that was the Duke.
Valen Dreth?
What are we talking about?
We're just listing dark elf names
Yeah.
at this point. Let's start. You know what? I've rambled on about enough bullshit. I'm just going to turn the show over to Taylor now.
Hey! Welcome to Freaky Old Thursday. It's time for Frankenstein Control, your one-stop shop for just about anything. You never know what's going to happen next on an episode of this show. For instance, I've brought a lit stick of dynamite.
Hooray.
Yes!
Taylor, that isn't real, is it?
No, it's 100% real.
Hey, that's a birthday candle and a hot dog.
Oh, it's definitely not. It is a lit stick of dynamite.
That isn't even a hot dog. It's one of those big reds you can get at 7-Eleven.
No, it's a taquito. Shit. No, I mean, it's a lit stick of dynamite, not a delicious edible from 7-Eleven.
They are not edible. Let's be honest about that. Just because you can digest something doesn't mean it's food.
Yes. Edible is a technicality. They're not really legally allowed to say that.
Yeah.
It goes in as a taquito and then comes out as a fully formed taquito.
It's like memory metal, where like you chew it up and bend it around, but then it slowly returns to its own shape when heated.
Yes, wonderful. I would like to welcome you to our episode of our 112th episode of Frankenstein Control. I am your master of ceremonies, Taylor Russell. To my right is Ada Ship.
I'm Ada.
And in front of me, as always, is Beer Eye.
I'm B. Ryan. On my way here from work, let's just say I can't go back to the Hot Topic at the Dulles Mall anymore because I vandalized, their words, vandalized. I was just trying to see what would happen, but I wrote in all the death notes in the anime section Mitch McConnell's name about 1,000 times in all of their copies. And, so keep your eyes on the news, folks.
I can't wait. He's just like, I'm Mitch McConnell. You know, I think Trump is innocent. He fucking kicks it right there on live television. It'll be fucking awesome.
While B-Rice just eating chips. Like,
B-Rye took a potato chip and eat it.
Lindsey Graham is just standing behind him dressed like Ryuk.
Yes, I'm liking this. I'm liking this second take on a live-action adaptation of Death Note.
yeah.
It'd be way scarier than Willem Dafoe, I'll tell you that much.
That was pretty cool. That in that movie, despite how bad it was, they did get Willem Dafoe to be Ryuk. That was pretty sweet.
I'm a Shinigami. Blah!
You know what? I'm somewhat of a death god myself. That's my favorite Willem Dafoe May. Ah, boy. Well, I tell you, it's been a crazy couple of weeks, y'all. Hadn't it? Bear Eye, what'd you do?
What did I do? Well, I've been watching a lot of different things. Most notably, Alyssa and I destroyed the entire first season, the only released season of The Witcher. The Witcher.
The Watcher.
Is it good?
It's really good. It's really, really fun, and it's really, really cool. And they do a really good job of sort of paying homage to both the books and the games at the same time, and disappointing nobody. That's the thing. And
Well, if they run for 9 seasons, then they're gonna.
well, yeah. But I gotta say, it's like they took a page from the Game of Thrones series in the correct way, and they're like, let's do all the things they didn't. And, like, you know, not fuck it up the ways that they did. So, for example, like, I've only ever played Witcher 3. Like, it's a phenomenal game.
You and a whole lot of people.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
There's been tons of people who have only played 3.
Yeah. But I mean, I did bother to read up on the lore of the other games, so I knew some more background info on the characters that I liked, and I understood various situations. Whenever I like a new fantasy, I spend a lot of time on the wiki for that fantasy and read all the shit I can, which is why I'm able to vomit out lore at on demand the way I do.
Yeah.
Hello and welcome to Lore with B-Rye.
There's some lore for you all over the floor.
The lore on the floor.
Yeah.
Lore on the floor.
I'm the Lorax. I speak for the... No, but anyhow. So I actually... FBM, friend of the show, FBM, gave me the first 2 Witcher books for Christmas. Either... Was it... Oh, no, maybe it was my birthday last year. I don't remember. Within the last year, he gave me the first 2 Witcher books.
Was the first book called The Witcher, and then the second book called The Witcher 2?
It's called The Witcher and then The Witchist.
No!
But, no, I actually... I liked the show enough that I was like, you know what? I want to get back into Witcher, and, I also want to read the books, because I have them now. And I was reading this really fucking boring book. It was a fantasy novel that I literally got for free at a thrift store in downtown Richmond, like 6 years ago.
Thriftmond.
And the guy gave it to me because I was like, oh, cool. A fantasy book. I love those. How much for this? And he's like, that one's terrible, kid. I can't charge you for that. Just take it.
Wait, for real?
For real. That's exactly what happened.
Wow.
For real.
I can't charge you for that.
I had bought something else, so it's not like he gave it to me for free.
Yeah.
But he's like, I'm not charging you extra for that. Just take it. You'll find out.
It's probably cursed, B-Rye. This is how bad Mookie's Paw type stories begin.
Yeah.
Well, nothing really atypically bad has happened to me in the time I've had this book.
Did you feed the book after midnight?
No, I didn't do that. It's just like a really boring adventure novel from 40 years ago, filled with a lot of a shit ton of tropes. It's very predictable. Has a lot of scenes of the female character being cringeworthy, and it's just not great.
Is it racist?
Surprise! Well, you know what? I'm not going to say no. Not overtly.
Oh, okay.
Not in any ways where I read any parts of it and was like, oh boy, that doesn't stand up anymore. No, there's no parts of that. But I mean, I'm sure if you take any one of the things in it the wrong way, you could make something out of it that's less than great. But I was actually literally on like the last chapter of that.
Wow.
And I was like, I just can't take this anymore. I have one of the Witcher books, and I really enjoyed watching the show, so I'm just going to start reading The Witcher, and I'm going to check it out. And it's really cool. It's a lot like... I'm very impressed by CD Projekt Red, actually, just because the format of the books is very episodic, and it's very like Geralt goes from town to town.
I thought you were about to say Geralt goes to Hollywood.
Geralt goes to Hollywood. Geralt does Dallas.
Mr. Geralt goes to Washington.
Yeah. Roach. He's like on the Senate floor.
He's gonna be the next guy to testify.
Yeah.
He's the
He was the whistleblower all along.
Geralt of Rivia was the whistleblower. You
That'd
heard
be
it
great.
first, ladies and gentlemen.
I call to the stand the Butcher of Blaviken.
The Butcher of Blaviken.
We'll get to that in a minute.
Hello and welcome to Butchered with Blavish. Today we're going to be making a glazed steak over the campfire, and we're going to check this one out. Check it.
But anyhow, the format of the books lends itself very well to making a game because it very clearly describes his adventures, very clearly describes his capabilities in ways that can be easily translated into like gameplay abilities.
Yeah.
So they picked a really good series to translate into that medium. And the show is very, very faithful to like several of the episodes in the book became episodes in the TV show.
Yeah.
And they were pretty faithful. When they did that, they didn't cock it up like Game of Thrones and omit a bunch of great characters. Here's how attuned to detail.
Oh, guys, get ready for the salt. Here it is.
Oh, yeah. Here's how attuned to detail they are. You know, because keep in mind, Game of Thrones omitted all of my favorite characters, like the Bloody Mummers and the Mountains Men, and, you know, all of my horrible, violent murder henchmen, who are my favorite kind of character.
And they didn't even include my fanfic characters called the Blubby Bubbers. They were cute and adorable, and they added some well-needed levity to a very serious story.
They all looked and sounded like Snarf.
Oh my God! Could you imagine a room full of guys like Snarf, the lion, oh Snarf, we gotta go save. I can't even Panthro.
I think I'd shoot myself.
I think I'd shit myself.
Blub, blub.
What the fuck is a subflange?
I think about that all the time. I think about that. What the fuck is a saboflay? Like an unreasonable amount of time that plays over in my head, and I'm talking like daily.
Wow, I can't even remember what that movie was called. Like I wouldn't be able to recommend it to people at home.
It was just from the Blundercats thing.
Oh, was it called
compilation.
Blundercats?
It was a Blundercats compilation that was like crappily animated in Flash and put on Newgrounds.
Oh, I
in
remember
like
that.
2001.
I just don't. Oh, speaking of Newgrounds, Flash is dead.
Oh shit.
Like it's officially dead now, and so is Windows 7.
Really?
Everything of your old life blows away with the wind.
Oh yeah, The Witcher.
Oh yeah, the witches. Yeah, sorry.
So there's a episode very early on. It's literally the first episode of the show, and it is one of the episodes in the first book. It's actually the one I'm currently reading right now, where Geralt goes to this town, meets this girl, trying to be as bereft of spoilers as possible, but
Right.
Gets involved with her deal and then ends up having to fight her gang because she has a gang of henchmen.
Like you do.
Like you do. And he, the end of the first episode of the show, he does this big old cinematic fight with these henchmen. And I've watched that fight multiple times on YouTube because that's exactly the kind of thing I do.
Wow.
Because it's, you know, graphic violence and it's fun.
Those graphics, man, they're great.
Yeah, they are. And the fight starts with, in the show, the fight starts when one of the henchmen shoots a crossbow at Geralt, and he uses his superhuman Witcher senses to deflect the bolt.
Wow.
And, like, that's how the fight starts in the book. They kept that, shot for shot. They could have just had him, any old choreographed fight in there, but they kept that. Not only that, but when I was rewatching the scene in the show multiple times, I noticed that the crossbowman has slightly pointy ears. And in the book, it makes a point to mention that henchman is half elven. And it's like...
There are elves in the Witcher land.
Yeah. Well, yeah, there are. It's typical fantasy. There's like elves and dwarves.
I mean, I don't know. They could have... Some fantasy worlds don't have a elf.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't name you one, but I'm sure they exist.
No, but it's just like they could have just
Dark
had...
Souls?
Dark Souls doesn't have elves.
That's why I like it.
They've got depression.
No fucking elves.
You Elvis.
Yeah. You are another man. No.
Elvis Presley.
Oh.
Go die on the toilet, you Elvis.
Give me a bunch of heroin and liquefied cheeseburgers and you got a deal.
Liquefied cheeseburgers.
Yeah, apparently he, like, later in life, he wanted to go on, like, an all-liquid diet because he thought it was healthy.
Oh.
He was drinking liquefied cheeseburgers.
See how he died is he mixed up what he was injecting, and he injected liquid burger into his veins, and he died.
Instead of absolutely safe and good heroin.
But yeah, no, like that really impressed me, that attention to detail like that, and the fact that they could have just had to be a regular dude, but they kept, even though it wasn't even mentioned, like the guy didn't even have a speaking line in the episode. He does in the chapter. He talks a lot. His name is Sivril, the half-elven henchman, but you know, he could have just been any old goon, but they bothered to keep the fact that he was half elven, and it was subtle and like not touched on. And I was very, very impressed at that attention to detail.
Do they talk about how Geralt got eyes like an angry cat?
Yeah, I mean, well, they show him walking around with eyes like an angry cat.
Mm-hmm. Do they let us know why he got that?
It's part of Witcher. So like a Witcher is a person, because in the world of the Witcher, it's basically like regular medieval times. Is like an allegory for medieval Poland, but monsters and elves are real.
Okay.
Because we had what was called the conjunction of the spheres, which is basically like people reality collided with the other dimensions that had all the fantasy creatures in it, and now they're all, a bunch of them are stuck here.
Oh.
And that's why we have like magic and monsters and shit.
Shit, that's some upper echelon, super high fantasy shit colliding with low fantasy setting.
Yeah.
That's kind of cool. I like that.
It is cool. And so what a Witcher is, because monsters are real and a regular person would get their shit wrecked if they tried to fight a monster, a Witcher is somebody who has been magically and alchemically enhanced, reflex and body-wise, to be able to stand up to monsters.
Yeah.
He's Captain America?
Pretty much.
He got the super sauce. He got liquid burgers injected into his veins. And now he got eyes like an angry cat.
He got the Szechuan sauce injected directly into his testicles.
Oh! And, liquid burger in your nuts will make you a Superman!
So that's what a Witcher is. I mean, they obviously also have a shit ton of training on top of that.
Yes.
And like, they can drink all kinds of potions that enhance their abilities, and like if you drink those potions and you're not a Witcher and you haven't been like attuned to those chemicals since childhood, it'll kill you.
Yeah.
Oh.
And like 3 out of every 10 kids that they try to make into Witchers are the ones who make it, and like 7 of them die.
Wow.
Either from the training or the stuff they do to them. So like, it ain't easy to be a Witcher.
And there was also Porky Fred, who just fucking died by being fat. He got the diabetes. They called it the honeyed disease.
And so the man who dwells in a glass castle casts the first stone.
Beer Eye, come on, don't tread on my self-insert character, dude. I'm trying to make a name for myself here.
That's really funny, having like a self-insert character, but they die in like the first act.
They're really shitty.
Yeah.
Oh! I mean, I'm surprised not more people do that. It seemed like a fun thing to do. Like, have your self-insert character just be a fucking red shirt. Oh! Be like, Ensign Taylor, you're going down to the planet. You look down at your shirt and it's red. Oh! Ah!
Oh, the Butcher of Blaviken thing.
Oh, yeah, that's right. That's what started this whole kerfuffle.
So, like, that's something that in the game, like, a lot of people will call Geralt while you're, like, walking around town. They'll be like, it's the Butcher of Blaviken. And, you know, it's just, like, another title of his that people refer to him as. And
Along with Chicken Chaser.
yeah, and the
It's from Fable.
the town that fight that I was just talking about takes place in is called Blaviken.
Oh, so
it has
he butchered those dudes, and now
like in the world of The Witcher, there's a lot of anti-human racism. So like, there's a lot of racism against elves, a lot of racism against dwarves, a lot of racism against non-humans, and Witchers are considered non-humans. So he shows up in town, and everyone's like, "Oh, it's that fucking Witcher!" Like, even though we're glad to have him around when we have a fucking monster, like the rest of the time we hate his guts and want to throw rocks at him and shit because he's a filthy non-human. And he's like, I'm dedicated to proving to everybody that I'm not a monster. That's why I don't get involved in things that don't, involve me, and don't try not to cause trouble and leave everybody alone. I'm Geralt of Rivia.
I'm sure you're not Nathan Explosion.
Oh yeah, I'm a Witcher. Yeah, this one time this guy hired me to kill a Kikimora, and I don't know, man.
Does he show up and a porcupine man shows up and he's like, "What are you doing in my town, you bitch?"
Oh my god, look at that guy. If I woke up looking like that, I don't know if I can take it.
You shut the fuck up! You get your cat eyes out of here, you ballsack!
He looks like some animals.
Yeah, he's got eyes like the cat.
This took a turn.
Metalocalypse Richard crossover 2021.
Yeah.
Here it comes.
So basically, he's like, "I'm better than what they say. I'm not a badman." And then he like kills all those dudes in the streets, and everyone's like, "You were a badman. You were the badman all along." He's the butcher of Blaviken.
He's the butcher of Badmankin.
So then he has to like, that's a thing he does, and then like the rest of the time he doesn't like being reminded of it because he's like, "Oh yeah, that's the time I gave into temptation and like got involved in some shit, and I ended up doing some stuff I shouldn't have done, and I made everybody think I am the real badman now."
I guess everyone thinks I'm the bad man. No one knows what it's like to be the bad man, to be the sad man.
'Cause I'm the bad guy. Duh. It's a Billie Eilish reference.
Billy English.
Yes.
Billy.
Sure, whatever.
Billy Eyelash.
I'm losing the thread at this point.
There's a thread caught in your Billy Eyelash. You should remove it.
Why don't you tell me about that earlier, Taylor? Just let me sit here with my dick in my hand looking like an idiot.
I'd rather put that dick in my mouth than admit booze ain't food.
Wow, I'm not going to touch that one.
Yeah, well, he's gonna touch it. Welcome to...
You makes it sounds like she gays.
You likes the penises like the girlies. Yo, no, you like the penis. I like the penis. I love how he'd freak out every time somebody turns a joke, like a girly joke around on him. Like that was so funny.
What was the song? It was Kashmir.
Oh, it was Squizgar. That's right. It wasn't Toki. It was Squizgar.
The actual song Kashmir came on. Or no, it's that's the I can't fucking
no,
I can't
that's
do it. I can't do it.
That's the immigrant song.
Immigrant song, yeah. That one came on today, and it really struck me. It was on the radio how much he sounds like Dr. Roxo when he sings that, and I can't not hear it. And I start laughing every time that song comes on the radio now.
Do cocaine.
Don't tell nobody. That's my favorite. She goes, "Hey, little boy, I do cocaine. Don't tell nobody." But he's like yelling it.
They had to take this music video off of TV because you could see my junk through my jumpsuit.
Dr. Roxo was such an annoying but hilarious character.
Yeah.
Because nobody likes
I always
clowns.
loved how the every character but Toki in the show hated him.
Oh yeah.
Anytime he shows up, they're like, "Oh God, no, not again!
This fucking clown is here again. Get him out of here."
Oh boys, it's the funny Ruckins Rolls clowns. Wow, this was quite the heel turn.
Yeah.
Talking from the Witchmer to good old Metalocalypse.
Yep.
Old Deathclops.
Well, you know what? Here's the fresh reveal. Same director. Brendan Small directed The Witcher. Bet you didn't know that.
And that's why every tavern keeper is friggin'
He always refers to Geralt as Brendan.
Stop calling me that. Shut up, Brendan. Shut up and buy me a beer. You're the barkeep. Yeah, I know what I said. Good old Coach McGrick. I tell you, it's been a wonderful time to be watching things. You know, just like there's been a lot of cool things to watch and bitch about mostly.
On that note, I've been watching a bunch of sumo wrestling, so be sure to ask me about that for next time.
You've been what?
Watching sumo wrestling.
What? Mirai. Mm-hmm. I hate to tell you this, but I plugged a video feed of me taking a shower into your television every night, so there might be some splaining to do.
Why were there two of you?
I was doing it in front of a mirror. I was trying to wrap the towel around my junker, and I wrestle my reflection in the mirror. The joke's on you. It's a big old goof. Gotcha. What do you got to say about that?
Well, it's still entertaining.
That's true. And if you want to see me nearly naked wrestling myself in front of the mirror, we got a pay-per-view link right in the description. Put it down there. Our affiliate link is called chubbyboysultrajoys.com.
Chubbyboyswrestling.net.
Chubbyboyswrestling.net. It'll be the best time you ever had.
Pics are extra.
Play it for your grandmama. Play it for your children's. Play it for your grandmama's. She'll fucking love it. It'll bring her back to the good old days. This episode of Frankenstein Control brought to you by chubbyboys.net.
Now even you know I am a menace. I hand you the secrets to save the entire human race and the entire universe.